All right, just a quick little heads up for you. This video might be a fraction longer than some of the previous videos, but it's still not going to be crazy long, I assure you, because in this video, we are now going to go and set up our online wallet. So I've mentioned, haven't I, that before we can start to stake, we essentially need two things. We need to have an account at an exchange that we've already talked about, and we also need to have the second thing was an online wallet. Let me remind you, our online wallet is our key, our link from traditional finance to this decentralized finance. So that's what we're going to go through in this video. If you have possibly taken part in any of my previous training, you may well have taken part in me showing you how to create a MetaMask wallet. So if you've already got an online wallet, MetaMask in this case, you don't even have to continue with this video. I mean, you can, of course, if you want, because you've got a wallet and it works, and that's fantastic. However, if you don't yet have a wallet, you do need to watch this video, and I'm going to show you how to set up a different wallet. I'm going to show you how to set up a Rabby wallet. Now, Rabby is very similar to MetaMask. They both do the same thing. The reason I want to show you Rabby is a little bit more advanced, but let me emphasize there's nothing wrong at all if you're using MetaMask. Please don't think, oh gosh, do I need to be using Rabby? No, you don't. I mean, you can if you want to. But if you're happy with MetaMask, great. But if you don't yet have a wallet, I would recommend starting with Rabby, and we'll go and set it all up in this video. Only take a few minutes. So let's go and do that. So here I am at Google. Now, one thing that I like to do as well, you don't have to do this, is I like to be really kind of organized, and I often will create a new browser depending on what it is that I want to do. So what do I mean by that? So this is my main browser, and you can see here it's got lots of shortcuts at the top, things that I visit often, all that sort of good stuff. But what I want to do for our crypto activities for this Lock Money for Newbies course is I want to do everything within a new browser, so I can maybe pin my Rabby to that browser and it would just kind of look nice and neat. So let's just go and do that and you'll see what I mean. So I am using Chrome as my browser, and the top right hand corner of Chrome you have a little icon, a little picture of yourself, and if I click on that I get an option here. See, it says add new profile. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on add new profile. Set up your new Chrome profile. I could log into an account, or I can create or continue without an account. Let's continue without. And I'm just going to call this LM for Newbies, Lock Money for Newbies. This is my new browser. Let me click done. And that's it. So what I now have is I've got a new browser here. So if I now, let me just quickly get rid of this. If I now go back to my regular browser. So imagine it's tomorrow. I turn on my computer and here I am at Google. I can now, if I want to, if I click back up here, top right-hand corner, find my LM for Newbies. There it is, LM for Newbies browser, and do all my crypto activities in this browser. So all my search history and stuff that I save will be on this one browser, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll click on that, and I'm just going to say no to all these little pop-ups that appear. Okay, great. So I've got a brand new browser here. Let me just close the browser behind me here. Brand new browser here, and it's on this new browser that we are going to go and add Rabby. Okay, so let's go through the whole process. How exciting. So first things first, let's type in here Rabby, R-A-B-B-Y, download. Rabby download. And here we are, first result. Let me click on this. I often say this, but let me say it again. Always make sure the address of what you clicked on. There are scammers that will create sites that are scam sites but look like the original to try and appear high in the search engine rankings. So the correct address of Rabby is https://rabby, rabby.io. So we are at the correct site. Great. Okay. So let's go through this. So I am on Chrome. So I'm going to click on Chrome, and essentially I'm just going to download it and add it to my browser, and then we'll take a look at it and see how it all works. So let me click on Chrome. Takes me to my extension page, and there we go. Rabby Wallet, add to Chrome. Simple as that. Add Rabby Wallet. I'm going to click Add Extension. I think it really is as easy as that. Click Add Extension. And it's been added. Wow, that was fast. Now, we'll come back to this in a second. Let me open up a new window on my new browser. And there's a little icon in Chrome, this little jigsaw icon here, which is a handy thing to know because it takes you to your extensions. If you click on this, it will show you your extensions. And look, here is Rabby Wallet. and there's this little pin icon here. So I'm going to click on this pin icon, and in a second you'll see Rabby get pinned to my browser. So make a note that you can't see the Rabby icon at the moment at the top here, but when I click on the little jigsaw, here's Rabby. If I click on pin, look, boom, there we go, it is now pinned. So now anytime I open this new browser, which is a good reason to have this new browser, I've now got my Rabby pinned to it, which is perfect. So I can click on that, and it's taking me back to the page that I saw a few moments ago, and we're now ready to set it all up. So let's go through this. So welcome to Rabby. We want to create a brand new address. If you already have a Rabby that you want to reinstall, you can do that. We're not going to worry about that for now. So let's click on create a new address. It gives us some warnings here. So we are in a moment going to be presented with, I think it's 12, maybe it's 24 different words, which essentially make up what are known as our seed phrase. This seed phrase is really important because if you lose your computer, or you throw it away, or you want to reinstall, as we spoke about a moment ago, Rabby on a new computer, you will need this seed phrase. Rabby, nobody can give you this seed phrase. You only get it once here. So you need to write it down, keep it somewhere safe, and don't share it, because if somebody else knows your seed phrase, they could go to their computer, they could download Rabby, and they could, remember a moment ago it said add an existing address? If we clicked on that, we'd be asked for a seed phrase. Somebody could put in your seed phrase and have access to all your assets, all your funds, all your money. So the seed phrase is really, really, really important. It's for you and your eyes only. Okay, so it says here, before you start, please read and keep in mind the following security tips. If I lose or share my seed phrase, my assets will be lost forever. This is the number one reason people lose their assets. They lose their seed phrase, or they change to a new computer, or they can't remember where they wrote it down. So it is important. You can't get this back. You can't email them. They don't even know what your seed phrase is. So we need to be diligent. The seed phrase is only stored on my computer. Rabby has no access to it. If I uninstall Rabby without backing up the seed phrase, Rabby cannot retrieve it for me. I think you get the general idea. Your seed phrase is important. Let me click Show Seed Phrase. Here it is. Here are my 12 words. Now, you might be thinking already, hang on, Chris. You're showing me in this video your seed phrase. That means I, meaning you, could go to your computer, download a new installation of Rabby, and use what you're seeing in this video. And you'd be able to hack into my Rabby. If you're thinking that, firstly, it's great that you understand how Rabby works. You are correct. But by the time you watch this video, sorry to let you down like this, I will have deleted this. So you won't be able to, because this won't exist. But well done if you thought that, because this is not what you want to do. You know, you're seeing my seed phrase because I'm making you this video, but you never share your seed phrase with anybody. Because they could technically, well, not technically, they could just take it. Never share it online. By the way, one of the most common scams online is, funnily enough, in Telegram that we mentioned earlier, when people message you in Telegram and particularly if you've asked a question in a public community, they say, I can help you. And often you can kind of be knocked off your axis, if you like, because you think, oh, that person's being helpful. And they'll have a little conversation with you. And then they'll start to say, yeah, of course I can help you. Look, all we need to do is you need to do this thing in Rabby. And they'll say something, it sounds like it could be genuine. Say, look, let me know your seed phrase and I can fix all this for you. And you go, oh, okay, here's my seed phrase. And what happens next? You got it. All your assets have gone. Never share your seed phrase. Never share your seed phrase. Never share your seed phrase. Nobody will ask for your seed phrase. If anybody does, they're a scammer, regardless of what they will say. Never share your seed phrase. Never share your seed phrase. I know it sounds silly. I've said it like 8, 9 times. But as I said, this is the number one reason people get hacked, particularly when they have a conversation with somebody online and it sounds like they're trying to be helpful and they're a nice person. And maybe they've spent a few days almost grooming you, knowing that they're going to eventually ask for your seed phrase. Never share your seed phrase. I think we got that clear. Says Chris, sharing his seed phrase. Back up your seed phrase. Make sure nobody else is watching your screen when you back up your seed phrase. So firstly, I'm going to copy it. And let me pull up a document. Here we go. And I'm just going to copy it there. So what I then would do is I would literally handwrite this I've got a notepad, which I know where it is at home. No, I'm not telling you. And it's got my seed phrases in it. It's almost quite old school, isn't it, that we have to do that. But this is if you need to back up your Rabby wallet at any time, or if you buy a new computer and you want to install another version of your same Rabby, so you can see your assets on different computers. You'll need to have your seed phrase. So don't lose it. It's important. Here are my 12 words. Fine. So I've copied those. I'm going to click I've saved my seed phrase. I'm now being asked for a password. So let me quickly just type here in this document, because I like to be all organized. Rabby seed phrase. Gosh, my spelling. I find whenever I'm making a video or if somebody's watching, my spelling becomes awful. Have you noticed that? And then also let's do password. So we're being asked to create a password. I always create, and I'm not kidding, ridiculously complicated passwords. Things like this, you know, which nobody can ever sort of easily remember. So there's my password. I just created it there. Perfect. It matches. Let me click confirm. Great. We're in. That's it. Now, again, this is important. This needs to be saved. Print it out, save it, write it down. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't just keep it on a document on your desktop and think, you know, you might lose it or accidentally delete it. So it's important. Okay, again, I know this video is creeping on, but we're just going to keep going. We're almost at the end. So let's now, we've created successfully our Rabby wallet. Wonderful. Let's click on Get Started. Your Rabby wallet is ready to use. Fabulous. Let's open up a brand new browser to show what it would look like when you open up a brand new browser. So here we are. Look, here's Mr. Rabby. And if I click on that, it will pop open. Hooray! And this is now our wallet. Well done. I'm impressed with you. We've now got an online wallet, which is very exciting. Now let's go through a few quick things, then we will wrap up this video. Firstly, at the top here, can you see where it says seed should say, well, it's phrase, but it's been cut off. Essentially, if I click this icon for copy, it's copied my address. This is my unique address of my Rabby wallet. Now, this is totally safe to share. This is a public address that you can give to anybody. So I'm going to write that down. Rabby main wallet address. And over time, if you get more and more advanced, you may create many addresses within your Rabby wallet. Maybe one for you, one for your granddaughter, one for your son, etc., etc. But for now, we don't need to worry about this. So this is your address here. Let me just change the format so we can see this a bit better. There we go. So this is your Rabby address here. And if I sent some assets to this address, which we will do in a few videos, they would appear here in my Rabby. Now, one thing I don't like is I don't like how it's labeled. It's by default, it's called seed phrase 1. So I'm sure we can rename that. If I click on that, I bet we can somewhere. If I click on that, here we go. Look, address note. Let's rename this to Rabby main address. There we go. It just looks a little bit nicer. There we go. Rabby main address. Perfect. So let's go back. Look, see it's changed at the top. So that's the name of this particular account within Rabby. And just like at a bank, you can have many different accounts. You probably don't really need them, but you can. This is our actual address itself that we just copied that starts with OXOD4B. OXOD4B. So if we send in the assets there, they will appear in our Rabby. And a few other quick things, and we'll wrap up this video. You can swap assets. We don't need to worry about this for now. Simply click on swap. So you could, once you eventually have some assets in your Rabby, you could swap, you know, Ethereum for anything or any asset for anything. You can send. So if we wanted to send some assets from your Rabby somewhere, we could send whatever asset you want it to send. And there's lots of different blockchains, as we mentioned earlier. Do you remember we mentioned different blockchains? So we'll be working on the base blockchain. We'll come back to this as we continue. You can receive assets as well, obviously. So for now, that's all we really need to know. This is a big, big, big victory. So really, really well done. And if you haven't yet got an online wallet, this is the next thing to do. Go and create a Rabby wallet. Make a note of your address. Never share your seed phrase, And of course, as I've said, I will obviously be deleting this Rabby wallet by the time you see this video, but I wanted you to see the whole process. So you are head and shoulders above 99% of people even being aware of this. So we've now got this wallet, and hopefully you're beginning to see already, it's actually not that complex, is it really, how to use. So now, let's stop this video. I did say this would be longer than normal, and we'll continue in the next video, which will definitely not be this length. Okay, I might even go and get a little coffee top up. In fact, I will.